I just showed David Hodioko Jumbo's latest game, Deadly Standing. Um,
Mobile gaming.
I wish I got your reaction when I first showed you Shark Attack, because it was good.
That wasn't a mobile game, at least.
Yeah, but your reaction was like, goddamn.
I mean, who doesn't like shark babes, you know?
No, I don't know a single person who doesn't.
Exactly.
So what we were saying about you?
You.
Not you. I'm talking about you.
No, you.
Well, my opinion of you is that he's a bit too perfect.
Man, that's so nice of you to say.
Damn it. But yeah, okay. I think. Okay, so at the end of the last episode, we were talking about JRPG.
Okay. Wait.
Not necessarily JRPG protagonists.
All right.
Names, but
I have a TV tropes page for this.
Okay, so I'm not crazy.
He has no default name in the game. The manga adaptation of Persona 4 gave him Suji Seta, and the audience got to select the name for the stage play. The name used in the DVD release of Visual Live Evolution uses Hayato Asakawa.
Jesus. It's more than I thought.
The animation named him Yu Narukami. Due to the
okay, that's where it started.
Due to the popularity of the anime, he is named Yu Narukami in almost every spin-off of the original game.
Okay, so that's a bit different from P5, where the manga came out around the same time as the game, and the protagonist's name was called Akira. And then, like, I think this year, so like a year after P5's release, they were like, okay, no, his canon name is Ren.
What?
So it's, yeah, look it up. Even though the fan base already got used to calling him Akira, Atlas was like, no, his name is Ren. Officially, get used to it.
Let's see. Protagonist, Persona 5. The protagonist is a transfer student at Shujin Academy.
Just control F.
Protagonist as Akira Kurusu. Protagonist as Ren Amamiya.
Wait, what? I didn't know that was his surname. Amamiya?
Apparently.
Okay, that's weird.
That's I hadn't actually looked up like what his canon name was supposed to be.
At least for P3, I don't think there's any debate on Makoto Yuki.
Honestly, I actually just kind of refer to the Persona 5 protagonist as Joker.
Yeah, there's that. I'll get to that in a bit. But it's weird how that P3, 4, and 5 does that, but P2 doesn't. Like, it was always Tetsuya, it was always Maya. And P1, I don't think I ever got a kind of name. I think like the closest name the main character got was Boy with Earring.
Wait,
didn't know that?
Since I'm already here, I might as well be able to look that up too.
Yeah, like that's just he never got an actual name. But he was a boy with an earring, so like, hey, let's just call him Boy with Earring.
Boy with Earring. Let's see if I can navigate this wiki page.
Are you on Wikia?
Yeah.
Just look up Revelations Persona or something. You know, get to like the main games page, and then somewhere on the page is a link to the character.
Megami Ibn Roku Persona.
Yeah.
Thanks, Wikia.
Well, only the re-release in the PSP, it was actually called Shin Megami Tensei Persona.
First game of the Persona. Are you gonna have a protagonist? Boy with earring.
Yeah.
The boy with earring is the protagonist of Persona as a student.
You see,
All right, wait.
It's stuff like that I hate.
But the manga names him as Naoya
Here we go.
Tudo, and the CD drama names him as Yuya Narumi, and whatever Megami Ibn Roku Persona Shadow Maze is names him as Jihei Suzakuin.
You see, this is why you need canon names the instant a character is revealed. It gets really messy and no one knows what to call them.
Boy with earring, apparently.
Boy with earring. I mean, that's how I know him. I didn't know he had other names. Back to the Joker thing. So when I was cosplaying as Ren / Akira, like when people were like saying, "Oh, that's a nice cosplay and stuff," they were referring to me as either Joker, which I got most of. I think I got 2 Akiras. I think I got 1 Ren, and 1 person called me P5 Pro Tag. So.
Oh yeah, you're that guy from Persona 5.
Yeah. Although when he was first revealed, I think like the reveal trailer or whatever. At least in the Western side of Persona fans, they call him Harry. Because he looked a bit like Harry Potter. And I actually wouldn't have minded that if he was just called Harry.
All right. I guess.
It's something
strange, but okay. Are you excited for the Persona 5 dancing game?
Isn't it already out?
In Japan.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I think the fact that I asked that question shows the level of interest I have. But I don't know about you, but the P4 dancing all night had like fundamental problems with its scoring system. Do you know about it?
I don't really play rhythm games all that much, really.
Okay, well, I'd say a common comparison that you can understand is, so every note that you get, you know how like
I've played rhythm games. I just don't usually play them.
Okay. So you know how, when you hit a note, it's either like good or perfect, stuff like that. So every single note in a song that you hit adds to your score multiplier. And that is the case for literally every single note. So to get a perfect score, you have to hit every single note.
Yeah.
So if you, for example, screw up in like the last 2 notes, that is a much bigger penalty for screwing up the first 2 notes and then getting the rest in a chain, because your score wasn't built up at that point, or even when you miss 2 notes in the middle, you'll still get a bigger score depending on where you screw up, not the amount of times that you do screw up. And that's terrible. I don't know if you understood that 100%.
Shouldn't it be tallying your score like throughout as you hit the notes rather than like? I don't know if
no, it's based entirely on like a score multiplier. So well, I'm not sure if it's entirely, because I haven't played it, but I'm just saying what I've heard. But your score, or like whether you pass or fail, or like your rank or whatever, it seems to be based on how long your chain is. And so it's like it doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't matter how many times you screw up. It's more like when you do. So I guess a real world example of how fucked up that scoring system is if you like took an exam and then you got a question wrong, you got the last question wrong and then you failed. But if you get a question wrong in the middle of the exam, that doesn't count as a fail. So there is my explanation of why P4 Dancing All Night isn't a very good rhythm game.
I've never heard that criticism of the game before.
But that's because the game is the reason why you would play rhythm games is because of the songs. So it's a bit easy to ignore something like that.
Well, rhythm games usually they base a lot of your score on hitting all the notes, but I'm skeptical over the game's system just completely screwing you over for missing one note at the very end.
I'll show you a screenshot of the final score that someone got in a song. He missed the last 2 notes and he failed, despite getting all the other notes hit.
That feels really suspect to me. I'm just saying.
I'll show it if you don't believe me. I don't. What did this person have to gain from?
I don't know.
If that was fake.
I don't know, but people make shit up on the internet for all sorts of weird reasons I don't understand.
I'm sure there would be more than one example. But other rhythm game developers don't do that scoring system because they know its problems. I'm just not sure if they changed the scoring system for P3 and P5 dancing whatever night. Is it Moon? Star?
3 is dancing in Dancing Moonlight or something.
Dancing Moon. Is it Moonlight or Moon Night?
And 5 is Starlight or something.
Starlight.
I don't know. I don't know.
Dancing Star Arena.
I would much rather have actual RPGs or action RPGs than rhythm games.
Don't worry, Persona Q2 is gonna come out soon.
I said RPG, not dungeon crawler.
Aren't they? Those genres are related.
The difference lies in the focus of gameplay, really.
I don't really know what is considered a dungeon crawler because I don't think I've played that many.
Persona Q.
I haven't played that.
I mean, Etrian Odyssey is a classic JRPG dungeon crawler.
Right. Okay. Is the grid movement a primary aspect of a dungeon crawler?
For some of them, yeah. It's it depends on the style of dungeon crawler that you're talking about, though. Because there's the JRPG dungeon crawler, which is very much like Etrian Odyssey, which is also other franchises like Wizardry and stuff like that. And you also have you have the Western dungeon crawler that's very similar, which is Might and Magic. The
Legends of Grimrock?
Yeah, Legend of Grimrock. And of course all the games that Legend of Grimrock was inspired by, which I can't remember the names of at the moment, but
because I would think that Diablo is a dungeon crawler, right?
It is. It's just it's a different type of dungeon crawler. Which is why it gets kind of confusing talking. But yeah, Diablo is like, it's an isometric action RPG dungeon crawler. In the same, like, which, you know, spawned the games like Titan Quest and Torchlight and Path of Exile, all those games.
See, this is why I like genres that are named after games, like Rogue and Souls. And Metroidvania. I know people don't like that, and I don't really know why, but I prefer a system like that.
I guess it depends.
It gets the point across easier.
It depends on how strictly you want to define the games, I guess. Because you can see it with the kind of subcategorizing roguelikes and roguelites. Like, a lot of
that's the worst.
A lot of the games that get thrown under
easy
those... Well, yeah, a lot of the games that get thrown under those labels are not really anything like Rogue. So...
No, the only, like, actual Rogue is the Mystery Dungeon games.
Well, there's also, like...
Those are actual roguelikes, and everything else should be roguelite.
Well, there are some there are some really small PC games that are very explicitly roguelikes.
Right.
But they never get... You don't see the attention given to those games in comparison to, like, games like Rogue Legacy, which is not a roguelike at all if you want to be really strict about it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a roguelite. But when it boils down to it, it's really just side-scroller platformer hack and slash with randomized elements.
And
but I guess it's faster to say roguelite.
Personally, I don't care about the classifications that much. Like, it doesn't.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, game genres aren't important, but, you know, if you're, like, trying to give recommendations, then genres, you know, that would be helpful.
It's the same, like, argument that I constantly see in music, though. Like, I honestly could not care if a band is, like, slamming, screaming, brutal deathcore. Like, I don't care about calling it that. I'll just call it death metal or something. It doesn't make a difference to me. Like, I don't understand why it needs to be subcategorized so deeply.
Yeah, like, and, you know, rock music isn't even the worst example of that. Like, I think electronic has a lot more genres, and, like, new ones popping up. Like, what is fusion? Well, like, what elements does a fusion song have?
A fusion of multiple styles? I don't know.
And why do so many genres have the word core at the end of it?
Well, that actually depends on... That partially depends on what genre you're talking about in particular. Because if you're talking about electronic core, it's a very different answer than if you're talking about, like, hardcore.
Okay, well,
because you know, genres like deathcore and metalcore use the core as a callback to hardcore. Whereas
is hardcore rock?
Punk.
Oh, okay, yeah, it makes more sense.
Which is also why you get metal purists constantly saying that metalcore isn't real metal, which is an argument
plastic.
that it's an argument that I just completely tune out of.
I don't think I ever get into any discussions about music. After hearing someone blurt out the words electronic music is not real music, I just, you know what? I'm just not gonna bother. If there are people like that debating what is real music and what isn't.
Yeah, and that's an argument that gets thrown at every genre people don't like. Like, people say rap...
It's not real music.
Yeah, people say rap isn't real music. People say metal isn't real music. People say electronica isn't real music. It's... eh.
No. If it doesn't use an orchestra, it's not real music. I mean, I'm sure at some point. I bet you there would be, like, these kinds of people that have lived throughout the ages. Like, you know, not just during internet forum days, but, you know, if it isn't Beethoven, it isn't music.
Yeah, man, the arguments about what constant... That's another argument that I just completely tune out of, because it's like, I like all sorts of different music. I'm not gonna say that something I... Like, it would be, like, if I were to call jazz not real music because I don't like it, like, that's the stupidest argument ever.
Hey, that thing you like, it sucks.
Right? Like, man, imagine how invested I would need to be in making other people feel bad about the things that they like to try to argue that what they like isn't really a thing. Like, man.
See, it's not a... Most battles on the internet are not worth participating in. See, this is why my Twitter is completely barren.
I don't even have a Twitter.
I know you don't. Well, I only created mine because, you know, semi-promotion on whatever games I'm developing.
Yeah.
But even then, well, that's almost a requirement that you have to do.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is promotion.
Honestly, it you know, it helps with, like, doing the whole YouTube or Twitch thing as well, but whatever. Yeah,
that comes with the job description.
I don't care enough because again, like, the entire reason that I do these videos is just because I enjoy doing it, and it's something to spend my time on. But
also, you know, when I inevitably become famous with my video game development career, I'm sure people will appreciate when they see me talk casually, because fans eat that shit up.
You're gonna be so famous, and you're gonna make our Dark Souls videos just, like, blow up one day, like 6 years from now or something.
Yeah, but when that happens, I'll probably not be proud of the videos anymore.
You're gonna be like, oh,
it's like they weren't running in the correct FPS, or like have a
24 FPS.
20. I thought it was at least 30.
No, you didn't even record at 30 FPS. I was so mad the entire time.
Well,
like, man.
At least this series is recording at 60 FPS, but it's a bit of a wasted opportunity because this game doesn't... I don't think RPG Maker runs at 60 FPS.
I mean, I'm not really one to talk, because, like, the sad thing is, like, even with the computer that I have now, like, there are a lot of modern games, like, that I still can't play at high fidelity and run at, like, a consistent 60 FPS. Which is so infuriating. I hate it.
Well, I prefer FPS over, like, anti-aliasing.
Oh, definitely.
Stuff like that.
I literally downscaled the resolution in Final Fantasy 15 just so that the game would run at a consistent 60 FPS because it was the only short of turning every single graphics option down to medium or low. And the thing is, resolution tends to make a much bigger impact overall than just turning down all the settings.
Yeah, that's because there's just more thing to show you.
Yeah.
There's more pixels to render.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's something that some people really care about, but I don't really mind the difference between 720p, 900 and 1080p, and I don't have a computer that can super sample above 1080p at the moment, so that's not even a consideration for me.
Right. Well, the only difference that I tend to see is UI elements shrinking or growing depending on the resolution size.
I can
other than that, I don't really notice the resolution other than aspect ratio.
I definitely notice when the game gets more pixely. I can tell the difference in fidelity between running Final Fantasy 15 at the resolution that I do and running it at 1080p. But I like having the game run at 60 FPS.
I actually prefer I prefer seeing games without anti-aliasing. I like to see the individual pixels.
I turn it off. I don't care about it.
Yeah.
It's such a huge hit to performance most of the time, and I don't care about the effect that it does. So
yeah, if I could make the game more blocky, I'll do it. One of the back to your trigger word, Pokemon Black and White. So that was the game that was for the DS, which has I think a 140p screen, and certain environments in black and white. It zooms out the camera.
Yeah.
It likes to do that, and it makes your player character, instead of 16 pixels tall, it's now 8 pixels tall, and it looks awful. It looks so bad because it just if it weren't for the colors, it just suddenly made your player character look like it's from the NES.
Yeah.
However, I actually like that. I know it looks bad, but I like it when it does that. It's honest.
You're a strange one.
Well, I know what I like.